Tracy Duran starts off the show and she says, "Good morning, Curtis and Ale. Good morning, Gams fan. Good morning, Aurora. Good morning, Aurora. Good morning, Aurora. The time is 9:01 a.m. You're listening to and watching Good Morning, Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast. It's -10
Oh my.
outside, right? It's mad cold.
Yeah, it's really
Stupid cold. Yep.
Stay
You got the
warm.
short sleeve on too.
Yeah, man, I had to represent.
Absolutely. But we are here today with a great show and a returning guest, Ale Hernandez of the Road Home program at Rush University. How you been?
I've been good, Curtis. How about yourself?
Oh, same old soup, just reheated. It's been mad hectic, as we get to the end of the year.
Yeah.
I've been all right though. Yep, been
That's
through a
good.
lot.
Hell yeah. We're getting there.
Yeah, we're getting there.
there.
So we're gonna be today's discussion will be about veterans. It'll be about veterans and their families as well. Allie's been on our program many times. She's been with us from the very beginning, right after the bathroom in Gremlin Studios. So I'm going to turn it over to Allie. Please let us know just once again who you are and tell us about the Road Home program at Rush University.
Yeah, for sure. So my name's Alejandra Hernandez. Everyone knows me as Ale. And I'm from Aurora, born and raised on the west side. I went to West Aurora High School, class of 2005. Right after I graduated from West High, I ended up enlisting into the Marine Corps. And there are family members that have served as well, like my cousin, my stepdad. Shout out. And so,
Go Marines, yeah.
for sure. And so what ended up happening is after I finished my 4 years, I decided to, go to school, took some jobs here and there, and then finally found myself at the Road Home program after graduating from UIC, and position opened up. I felt like it was a good fit for me.
Right.
So I've been there now it'll be 3 years in April.
Yep. And I remember when you got the job and got the transition and started, I remember that. And we talked a few days ago or something. Remember I just called you out of nowhere yo, you found it. You found you. You found your niche. You found your why. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
I say that because, and I want to know how you feel about it. A lot of veterans don't, or it's hard sometimes when you're making that transition back to civilian life to find that. What do you think about that? Is that accurate?
Yeah, that's pretty accurate. It does take some time for folks to figure out what their niche is or their calling, and I do encourage those not to mental health, and so hopefully we can work on reducing those barriers. That's one of my focuses, at least, is trying to remove barriers, trying to remove stigma, so that way folks can feel like they can come forward and be like, you know what, I do need some help.
Yeah. So in the time that, because you and I are personal friends besides all this, I joined NAMI. I joined the NAMI board, NAMI KDK. And there's another veteran. She's a Marine Corps vet, Kimberly. Yeah, you know Kimberly. You know her.
Yeah.
And as a veteran, I feel better, working with NAMI to it makes me feel yeah, I'm really helping in this fight to end the stigma too. There's a lot of hang-ups when it comes to different parts of the community, but for veterans I think it is a little bit, it can be tougher. Not that anyone else's struggle isn't valid, but there's a whole lot in that.
Agreed.
Time is 9:06. So the Road Home program at Rush University, what is it, what's it about, and what are some of the programs and services?
Yeah, for sure. So the Road Home program's been around for 10 years. We're a nonprofit that's within Rush University Medical Center, and we are funded by Wounded Warrior Project. They're the biggest funder amongst other organizations out there and entities that donate generously to us for our mission to continue doing this. And what we do is that we offer free mental health services to anyone that has served, that's currently serving, regardless of discharge, regardless of era, and regardless of insurance. So we really try to reach out to everyone that we can. And we're really excited for the stuff that we're working on for this upcoming year, 2025.
Okay.
We got a couple of changes, which I'll talk about here shortly.
Okay.
But mainly the gist is that it's free mental health care located in Chicago. And if you're not located in Chicago, we do have other ways of helping. There's virtual care. So.
Okay, right, because the programs are available to everybody in the state as well, right? State of Illinois. Okay, all right, good to know.
Yeah.
9:07 is the time. Good morning if you're just joining us. Sonia DeWolf is here. Good morning, Sonia. Becky Hoff, good morning. Ann Randall is here. Good morning to you, Ann Randall. DJ Omarine, dear friend of ours. He'd be spinning records. Good morning to you. Dora Sanchez Soto is here. She says good morning.
What's
hey
up,
there,
Dora?
Ale. I just saw her last night. How about that? That's crazy. And my dear friend, personal friend, Daniel Calderon. Good morning to you, dear sir, as well. Time is 9:08 a.m. Now, before we get into dig deeper into the programs and services, you are on the City of Chicago Veterans Advisory Council. All right, talk about that.
Yeah, it's really cool. We meet, I think it's like every quarter, and it's really cool because we get to talk about the things that we have going on and also how we can work together to, spread the word about mental health, to give veterans and warriors like different avenues of how can I say it, like different options of things to do as far as like recreationally or giving back to their community, just kind of finding different avenues to keep people engaged. So and then also working with the city, letting them know what our needs are too. That's also very important. So yeah, I'm really happy that the city of Chicago has welcomed me with open arms, and it feels good to have that.
Yep. She used to live in Aurora, y'all, but then she moved to Little Village. She said, I'm out. She said, I got to go.
It's closer to work.
Right, of course.
And honestly, I do commute back and forth sometimes to visit. I got a lot of nephews and family, but I had to get closer to work. So love you guys.
Absolutely. Question I got: What's something? Because you've been doing this work now for 3 years.
Yeah.
What is something that has been the penny drop moment for you? What's been something that you've noticed or discovered or learned about the programming and when it comes to vets and the households and families that you didn't know before? Something that really made you think like, wow, this is something I was not aware of.
Yeah.
That's something that's meaningful like that.
Yeah, for sure. Honestly, one of the things that comes to mind is the impact of mental health on the family. So when the warrior comes back from active duty or from deployment or what have you, like that impact on their family members, on their friends, I didn't realize how big that was. That was one of those things where I was like, oh my, they really are affected by our service, by our experience, and they want to do their best to help, but sometimes they don't know where to start or what to do. So that impact on them, I think, is one of those things where I was like, oh God.
How did life in the Marine Corps change you personally?
Immensely. I was actually talking about this with my stepdad this morning. I honestly, if I wouldn't have joined, I have no idea where my life would have been, where it would have taken me, because the Marine Corps instilled in me some good traits that I carry with myself to this day, and I think that's helped me a lot with my healing, with my sense of purpose. So I really do think that the military helped me.
Right. And I do want to talk about an unfortunate topic, but I know that you guys help, which is veteran suicide and things like that. There's a number of organizations that are helping in that fight. What is the Road Home program doing to help combat that as well?
Yeah, for sure. So the things that we do is by engaging with folks in podcasts such as these, we try to go to different conferences and put ourselves out there so we can educate folks about what we do, in hopes that if they know someone that could benefit from our services, that they would come forward. We also have an excellent team as far as research and the clinicians that we work with.
Okay.
They're very engaged with what we do, very supportive, and so that helps a lot to get that message across, to reach people that may be far, that don't know about what we do, because there's a lot of folks out there that are like, oh my goodness, where were you guys like 5 years ago?
Right.
It's like, we're here. It's a lot of work to get the message across, because there's a lot of warriors, a lot of veterans, a lot of family members as well. So working together as a team definitely helps.
You mentioned the age gap too, and when it comes to getting the word across too, the age gap I think for the veteran community is really a big hindrance too, because there's a lot of vets from different eras, like Vietnam era, some of the Korean era guys who are kind of disconnected from social media, which is now taking over and having a big part to play in resources and information. How do you, what's that like with dealing with some of the senior veterans and some of those eras different from ours?
We really rely on like the VFW and the American Legion and other organizations such as those to help us get the word across. And we do have outreach coordinators on the team that are engaged in those communities.
Sure.
So what we really try to do is go out there and let them know about what we do, going to those resource fairs. And it's honestly a lot of just talking to folks and being engaged with them like face to face, because you're right, a lot of those folks probably aren't on social media, but word of mouth is what really helps drive what we do, our mission, and the knowledge that we're here in case they need us.
Right.
So
good to know. 9:13 is the time. If you're just joining us, this is Good Morning Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast. We're here with Ale Hernandez, Veteran Outreach Coordinator for the Road Home program at Rush University. So what's 2025 look like for the Road Home program? Good morning, Josh Myers.
Yeah, good morning. So we are going to be piloting 2 different cohorts. The first cohort I want to speak on is the LGBTQIA plus cohort.
Okay.
So this cohort is going to be specifically for anyone that has served that identifies as part of the LGBTQIA community. And our cohort is going to be a military sexual trauma cohort that's going to run in the month of June. The month of June is historically known as Pride Month, especially here in the city of Chicago. And I even believe in the city of Aurora, correct?
I believe so too. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. So from June 1st through the 13th of 2025, we're going to have a cohort specifically for those that identify with that community. And we do have like about, 9 slots. And we're going to be providing the same kind of care that we do now, our 2-week model of the Accelerated Mental Health Treatment Program. And that consists of like acupuncture, mindfulness, art therapy, and moral injury. We have a chaplain on staff that works on moral injury repair and talking about some of those things that conflict many people of that with their spiritual faith and like having to serve. So it's pretty cool that we're going to be doing that. Right. I think that that will help us get the word across and also provide a space for those that are going to need it with this upcoming election. Like, things are kind of questionable, and so I think that it's very important to hold space for those, especially those that have served, that are part of that community.
Okay.
And then another one that's very important is the military families. So we are going to be having a cohort for them in the month of July. That's going to be from July 20th until August 1st of 2025, and it's the same model. It's a 2-week intensive outpatient program, accelerated mental health treatment program. And what we're going to be doing is providing them the same holistic care, the acupuncture, the mindfulness, also the cognitive processing therapy, which is something that we do twice a day for those 2 weeks. So it's really cool that we're going to have also a space for them as well, because they're also another group niche, if you will, that needs that.
Right. Okay. So when it comes to the cohort for the LGBTQ community, we'd love to have you and another we're going to have on for that. So, we'll circle wagons before before June next year. But let's book some time to have you come on and talk about that, definitely, because I'd like anyone in the community who's a member of either the LGBTQ community or a veteran to know about that and take part in that. Times 917.
Yeah.
Yep. And then what's next for 2025? For those only 2 cohorts, or?
Those are the only 2 specialty cohorts that we have going on for 2025.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, you are on a few other associations as well. We were talking about before the before the microphones came on, one of which you serve with our beloved state representative, Stephanie Kifowit. Talk about that.
Yeah, so I'm actually the vice president of the chapter here in Illinois, IL-2. That is the Women Marines Association. And what we really do is we focus on giving back and also having community for the very small group of women veterans that are out there, women Marine veterans that are out there, because there are only a small amount.
Yeah,
very few the proud.
Few and the proud, right?
Mm-hmm. So I feel like what happens is that we embody still a lot of those characteristics, all those traits that were drilled into us, and we've carried it on now to the civilian world of giving back to our communities in different ways, and also just having community with amongst us, the sisters, to have each other's backs and to go ahead and share with one another whatever it is that the challenges that we may be facing.
Okay. How often do you guys meet?
Once a month, virtually.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we also do hang out on the side, like sporadically. We have a little group chat where we stay in touch, let each other know about what's going on. If anybody needs any help or kind of assistance with anything, that's where we communicate. So
right. And I also want to plug in real quick that State Representative Stephanie Kifowit does her own live chat every Monday. And it's called Coffee with Kiffy. I think it's Coffee with Kiffy. And there she gives legislative updates for her constituents and those in her district. So check it out on Facebook and on YouTube. It's every Monday, Coffee with Kiffy. It's a great way to stay connected with the legislator. All right, 9:19 is the time. So what have been, without giving away some of that personal data, obviously, but what have been some of the success stories that you've been a part of since being with the Road Home program?
Yeah. So I really look forward to that last Friday of the IOP. We get like an email with input from the folks that go through the IOP, whether it's like positive, negative, or neutral. And I always look forward to that. So we could, I love the praise. Who doesn't like, getting their flowers, right? For the work that they do. But also learning about like where can we improve, like where are we missing the mark, right, so to speak. So there hasn't really been a particular story that comes to mind, but like I said, just going back to when they leave and they leave those reviews for us to look over, I think that those are the moments where I feel like, what's the best word I can use to describe how I feel? I feel like a sense of accomplishment, but then also curiosity to want to know how we can do better.
Right.
If that's the best way I could describe that. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, 9:20 is the time. Alexander Negro is here. Good morning to you, Alex, as well. Good to see you. Tell me about AVER.
Oh, American Veterans for Equal Rights. Yeah. They're the oldest nonprofit organization that exists in the country that works on promoting and advocating for folks that have served in the military, that are part of the queer community, and that are facing still like challenges, whether it's legally with like getting an upgrade on their discharge status, which, if nobody knows out there, like there was a period in time where we couldn't serve openly, and now we can. After, I think it was like 2010, 2011 is when all that changed. Yep. And that organization is very important to me because I feel like there's so much work that needs to be done, especially now with the uncertainty of a new administration. And we need to continue to be vigilant and spread the knowledge that we are here in case anyone's looking for community. And we actually got together about a month ago to talk about strategy on how we're going to hopefully, not how we can show up for our community best. Right. What can we do to meet people where they're at? So I'm part of the Chicago chapter.
Okay.
I'm their secretary, and we do have some members that have been there for quite some time, and really proud of the work that we do. And it's important to have spaces like that. So
Yeah, absolutely. And you and I talked about that a few times. This going back to some of our first episodes, like what Ali's talking about was the "don't ask, don't tell" period of service in the military, and what that was like. And you and I also talked about MST.
Mm-hmm.
In the service as well. And unfortunately, when you and I first started doing our interviews was when Vanessa Guillen was the unfortunate topic of discussion nationally. So Good Morning Aurora and the Road Home program with Rush, we're happy to be a voice and outlet or a platform to talk about MST, discuss these things, and to make sure that all the voices are heard in the veteran community. 9:23 is the time. What's next? What's next for you?
For me?
And, what's the
professionally? Actually, I just got my.
I like how you split that out of nowhere. Right?
I got my list of things. Actually, yes, no. My supervisor actually yesterday gave me my marching orders. So, I'm going to be working on some virtual outreach in the first quarter. With the states of South Dakota, New Mexico, North Dakota, and Virginia. And then as far as like locally, I'm going to be focusing on the state of Wisconsin and planning to go on a blitz. What a blitz looks like is we plan a trip to hit up to visit the vet centers, the VA hospitals, any organization that works with veterans or anyone active duty, and also in the mental health space, to meet with them, share the resources, drop off some literature, and then in hopes that we can continue to have some kind of a working relationship to get some referrals,
Right.
But that is what the plan is for the first quarter of 2025 so far, and it's pretty exciting.
Quite ambitious.
Yeah. I would say so, because a lot of those communities need our help and need to know that we're here in case they want to reach out.
Right.
And it's really important for us to go to these remote communities, make sure that we're touching base with them. So
Right. Yep, because they got veterans out there too.
Definitely.
In many wide spaces, some of them without the resources that a big city like Aurora or Chicago has, but still in need. 9:25 is the time. Devin Anderson is here. Good morning to you, Devin Anderson. Thank you for watching. So as we start to land this airplane here, and you'll get the last word like always, like you've been getting for the past few years. I'm gonna keep it the same. If there's any way that NAMI KDK can help or be a part of what you guys are doing, please let me know. I'd really like to make sure that we're consistently involved too in things. But the show ends on a positive note.
Yes.
So did we cover everything? I know you wrote mad stuff in that book.
I got this and this. The only thing I didn't get to talk about is our 10 years. Let me just touch base on that. Right now we're celebrating our 10-year anniversary. We've been able to help about 5,200 warriors, veterans from across the world.
Congratulations, big stuff.
Yeah, it's a lot. And the number continues to climb because a lot of folks are coming forward and we're reaching to many populations. I think one of the things that I'm really proud of is that this year, my boss and we went to Alaska and Puerto Rico, and we were able to do some outreach there. And those areas really do need mental health resources. The number of suicides in Alaska is just very, very high. Very, very high, especially for active duty.
Right.
So for us, it's very important to make sure that we're going in front of the commands, which is something we did, and talk to them and let them know that we're trying our best to remove all these barriers to care. However, giving them a standard an SOP, so that way they can understand like what is it that they need to do if they want to be involved, or know at least what their soldiers or their airmen are going through, or like how they can better support them. So we've been really working closely with them, and I'm just really proud of that kind of work that we've been doing, and having that kind of support from leadership too, that understands that there's populations out there, groups that are in need of our help.
Awesome.
Yeah, and also I would have to say that we get a high recommendation from the warriors that come through our program. 94% of them would definitely recommend the Road Home program to another warrior, so that's awesome. Another thing I want to highlight is that 80% report a clinical meaningful reduction in PTSD and depression, because we also tackle the symptoms of PTSD and MST, which is depression and anxiety. And also that 50% no longer meet the criteria for PTSD after they go through our program. Yeah. And we can also help you with your benefits. So we can share that information with the VA if you're trying to work on your approval, getting on anything that's like mental health wise. We can definitely help out with that. You just got to talk to your provider when you're going through the motions and let them know like what is it that you need, so that way we can meet you where you're at and get that information to you.
That's amazing. 9:29 is the time. Felipe Rocha, good morning to you. Fellow Rotarian right there. Dora Sanchez Soto says, keep up the great work, Ale. And Tracy Hodges, good morning to you as well. We will, as always, share the link and provide the link for the Road Home program at Rush University. I want to say thank you to...
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you.
No doubt.
My Navy homie over here.
Come on, you know it's all up in here. It's before Good Morning Aurora.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I want to say thank you very much to Ale Hernandez for coming on to the show and talking to us about the Road Home program at Rush University. That's it for Good Morning Aurora today. Tomorrow, Buenos Dias Aurora will be live from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. And tomorrow is a global episode for Buenos Dias Aurora. Buenos Dias Aurora is going to go places that they've never been before, like Madrid, Spain.
Nice.
But that's another story.
Wow.
9:30 is the time. I hope that you guys have a blessed day, a positive day, a fantastic day. God bless you all, and God bless the Marines. Take care of yourself and each other.
Being a local business in Chicago, we've always worked with community banks, but over time, those smaller banks started getting acquired by larger national footprint banks. It became time to work with Wintrust to meet our needs without having to have that big bank feel.
Wintrust understood what they wanted to accomplish, and they've increased in size 5 times over.
As we continue to grow, we're going to keep needing to borrow, so I'm sure they're going to love that.
Serving their needs. It's really the foundation of what Wintrust Commercial Banking is all about.